Let's plan out the week of the 15th to the 21st. But first, if you're new here, hey, my name is Lauren, and on here I talk all things planning and self-care. As you can see, I've already started to set up my spread here. This is an Erin Condren notebook that has dot grid on the backside, and then it's just lined on the front. This was like a limited edition version that I had picked up during their warehouse sale, and it's the only Erin Condren dot grid notebook that I have. I typically lean towards like lined, but I had this idea because I was browsing the Golden Coil website because they had a Mother's Day sale. They only do sale 2 times a year. And I was browsing it, looking at the options that they had, and I found so many functional layouts that were similar to this. And this is what I did for this past week. I'm filming this on Friday the 12th. And I actually had set this up on Monday, but then I didn't really fill it out yet. I just kind of laid it out. And then I came back to it on Thursday, filled it out, and was like, oh my God, this is really cool. So if you don't know, I also use a daily planner. And right now I'm using a plum paper daily. And this is the layout that I have. This is like today's plan. But I think I like this because I like this. Ever since I started using a daily planner, I've like really enjoyed this, and I think I like it because all the listing space that I have to just write down things. And then I've been struggling lately with my weekly and coming up with like a way that I can use it in a way that works for me and my brain. And after looking at those Golden Coil ones, I was like, let me try something out and see before I spend money. Let me draw some out and see what I think about it, doing this style where I have the entire week, in one spot from top to bottom, which seems to work really well for my brain. I don't know that I would like where it's kind of separated across, but I don't know. Who knows? I've never tried that before. I do have an Erin Condren, an eco-friendly focused planner that I'm not using. I got it because I wanted to review it, and I'll pop up that review right here. And so I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe pulling that out maybe next sometime during the week and playing around with that and seeing how I feel. Maybe I'll like go to this date in there and fill this in and see how that might work. I don't know. I'm just like right now I'm just playing around with all these different layouts, just trying to figure out what works best for me. So I drew this out a little bit differently than last time. I'm using a different pen. Last week I used my Pilot Friction, this is the newer version. It's a zone ink, so it's a little bit darker than the version before. But I was also using the Friction erasable pen to write the stuff. So if I needed to erase something, I'm also going to erase the line. And also this was like a little bit thicker, so I thought I would use in a more permanent. So I'm using the Sarasa R to draw out the lines. I don't know if you can tell, it kind of looks a little darker. At least to me it does. This is a 4 point and this is a 5. It doesn't really look that much different to me. Maybe it's because it's darker. But if I go using this as my pen for the week to write out my plans, if I erase it, it's not going to erase the lines. And I decided to draw with a pencil the actual like line note spaces part. That way it's not as dark, and I think that might work better for me so that I can kind of see more. Like the darker lines would call attention more to that, and I don't want to have so much attention on these lines, if that makes sense. So I still need to finish drawing out these areas and drawing out the notes right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and speed through that part for you. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the same pen to write in the headings and the dates, and then I'll use my friction probably to like plan so that if I mess up, I can erase stuff. So it's gonna be the 15th. I must have miscounted or something because maybe I did one too many lines over here. I just realized I didn't draw one on the very bottom. I guess it won't look that weird if I draw one more. Hopefully it doesn't look weird. Let me draw this last line down here. Oh, I need to write notes. Okay. All right, now that is laid out and I can actually start the planning. Well, let me first fill in my self-care habits. Hang on, let me fill this out real quick. I did do my vitamins this morning and I did this last night. I did journal last night. I did take my PM vitamins last night and PM. So my AM vitamins are just my multivitamin and my omega-3 fish oil and a magnesium. And then my PM vitamin is just another magnesium. Did I just write after? Yeah. And then cardio. Yeah, I definitely had one extra line. I probably put one more line of notes down here than I meant to. That's fine. The hair serum, when I had my last daughter, I lost a lot of hair. And I mean, obviously, with every pregnancy, I lost hair, but that last one, I really lost a lot of hair. And it really has been very slow going with like growing it back. I was using collagen in my coffee every morning for a really long time, and that really worked. And then I decided maybe I should do more than just that, and I found some like hair, like a company. I'm not going to talk about it yet because I'm not sure yet if it's working, but I found something where they have like a shampoo and then they have like a hair serum that I put on every day. And I've been doing it for probably 3 months and I have yet to notice anything. And supposedly you're supposed to notice about like 2 to 3 months. So I don't know. But at the same time, I also had stopped doing the collagen because I was like, I don't want to do both because I want to see if this stuff by itself works. So I'm actually at a point where I'm about to just, you know what, I'm going to just start taking the collagen again anyway because I am getting closer and closer to 40 and collagen is important because my body is not like making it like it used to. That's just so like hair aside, like it's good for bones and things. My skin also, so I think I'm going to go back to it. I don't know if I'm going to end up reordering the hair stuff. We'll see. I'll definitely like update maybe on Instagram, probably in a story or something if I end up seeing anything happen from that. If not, you're not going to hear me say anything. And then if I don't ever say anything and you're watching this and it's like way out and you want to know, I don't mind if you want to DM me and ask me about it and I'll let you know what it is, but I'm not going to like blast this company or anything like that until I know like if I need to give it more time. Anyway, my afternoon reset is something that I started doing when I put my kids back to school where like I drove them. For a while, it was them getting on the bus, and that was mostly because of having like a really little toddler, and it was just more convenient for the other ones to get on the bus. And then last year, I started driving them again. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something with this extra time in the car and not just like pick something intentionally to do instead of just scrolling on my phone. And I made a promise to myself that my car line time would be like an afternoon reset, is what I call it. And it would be where I'm allowed to read a novel, like not read like a self-help book because that like gets my brain thinking too much. So read a novel or journal, or like when I journal in just like a simple lined notebook. I've been doing it since I was like 13. And really, the way I journal is kind of like recapping the events that have happened. And then also, while I'm recapping it, I'm kind of just like free writing my thoughts about the things that have happened. I also tend to lean towards that heavily when like I'm upset about something. I'll journal, but after reading Matthew McConaughey's book Green Lights sometime last year, I appreciated that he mentioned in there how with his journaling habit over the years, he would also journal when like there was also good things happening, and he would explain like in the journal like what's working. And I thought, you know what, that's interesting. I've never thought about doing that, because then if you read back on it, you can kind of see like what was working for you during different periods of time in your life, and not just read back and see all the things that you were upset about. So I had started trying to do better about doing that too. And then I also, around sometime last year, in, was it last year in the beginning of the year? Yeah, I think last year, so in early 2022, I started journaling, not just like that, but I started using a journal. I started using like a JMB Living journal, and I actually have a review up of like their more current version. They changed the format a little bit this year, so I'll pop that up right here. But with that journaling, that's what that means here, is more of that style of journaling, not the journaling in my line notebook. This is more like for my prompted journal. And the reason I do this is because I'm using a Moxie Life system this year for goal setting. And part of the Moxie Life system is a weekly reflection. And I'm not the best at remembering things. So for me to accurately reflect on my week, I really need to journal every single day, so that I can, at the end of the week, look back at what I wrote down in my journal to help me figure out the things that I need to reflect on, which like what worked, what didn't work, what do I need to adjust, what did I learn, what were my wins, that sort of thing. And so journaling every night before I go to bed. I've been using an Erin Condren notebook, well, an Erin Condren journal. It was like a limited edition in the same warehouse sale that I got this one. And it really just has like a space for how are you doing today, a spot for me to list out like goals and wins, which, since I journal at the end of the day, the today's goals section I use to kind of write out what my wins were, really. Something that like I had intended on doing or I just did, and it's kind of part of related to my goals. That's usually where I keep that written down, so that at the end of the week when I go back, I can see on that spot specifically like help me pull out the wins. There's a section in there for like self-care. So I write obviously what I did that day for self-care, and there's also a spot for like joy and fun, which that's something that I really enjoyed in the JMB Living Journal. Every day there was a spot for today's win, beauty you noticed, and like whatever, something that was joy, something that brought you joy. And I really liked those three specifically because then it made you during the day seek out those things. Sometimes I would forget what it was. I would remember in the moment, like, hey, that's bringing me joy. I'm going to write that down later. And then later it comes, and then I'm like, oops, what was that thing? Which is fine. The idea though is that you're like pointing it out in the moment and you're seeing it, and just you're being more present, I guess, and mindful in your life. And so I highly recommend checking that out if you haven't. And I recommend like doing some kind of daily journaling. It's been very helpful, especially with if you're doing some sort of a goal setting, even if you're not in a full system like the Moxie Life. If you are like setting monthly goals and then you are picking every week, like what am I going to work on that's going to help me move towards those goals, then to sit down every week and or even every day and just kind of write down the things that you've accomplished that day, or even what like sets you back, or just how you're feeling, just all that just really helps, because then at the end of the week you can look back at all that and kind of see, well, what is there any pattern and that kind of thing. So that So that journal is what I mean here, is just like my daily writing down all that stuff. And then what I'm going to do over here is like what I did here. I set up like a planning section, and that's like the main things I want to make sure I do every week. So I'm going to make sure to set that up. Let me go ahead and do that like right now, because these are written in my goals. And I think I'm going to use the same highlighter. This is like a friction erasable one. I'm going to just be consistent, just use one. So plan next week. Planning is so important because it helps me mentally prepare. If that makes sense. Oh, the coil. Also the bottom of the page, so it's not going to be my prettiest handwriting. Weekly actions. Actually, I could do this. Let me. Sometimes I do that where I'll put another book so that my hand can rest. Weekly reflections. So this process of me sitting here and mapping out my week in advance is helpful because it helps me like mentally prepare, and then I'm not kind of like, well, what's happening today? I'm not doing it on like a day-to-day basis, which is totally fine. You could totally do that if that works for you. But for me, once I found the planning community and started planning in this way where I sit down every week and like look at my week ahead, pull it out of like what my month is, I have found that I feel a lot less anxious about the events that happen every day. And I actually feel like I have so much more time in my days than what I used to feel. I used to feel like, I don't know, I think I just was unprepared. And that's just part of like, as you get older, you learn more about yourself. And I just learned that I'm somebody that needs a lot of preparation ahead of time for things. Like I already knew that about myself when it comes to like, if you're going to ask me to do something for you, or if there's like an event happening, you can't just tell me like the day of or the day before. I need more advanced notice than that because like my brain like freaks out. I already knew that about myself, but once I started doing this where I'd like sit and plan for the week, I realized that it wasn't what I was doing before, it wasn't enough for me to know like in advance this is what's happening. I also needed to like mentally prepare and like have a day during the week where I sit down and look at the week and write it down and be like, okay, this is happening this day, this is happening this day, these are, and then write down all the things that I want to do this week. That really has helped not only me to remember what's happening or to actually have a place to reference. Well, yeah, I think that's really a big part of it too, is that I actually have like a place where I have all these things written down and it's not just all living in my head for me to remember, especially when this past, like since August, since my youngest went to school, I've been really bad about like a cleaning schedule. So this cleaning here, I'm not planning on filling it in like in advance because that's just not what's my priority at the moment. Really, the only two things that I have in my goals related to environment is making sure I have my towels and my bed sheets washed. And those are really like the only things I'm like, I want to make sure they get done every week. I used to have like a set day of the week and I'm trying to like make sure I do that stuff on the same day of the week. But I used to be really good about my cleaning schedule, and these are the days that I'm going to do these things, and that really helps free up a lot of brain power because then I don't have to think like when was the last time I dusted, and I can just know like, oh, that happens on Mondays and I just do it on Mondays and not have to worry about it. But like ever since my youngest went to school and I started really like double downing on my content, I have let that go and I'm totally fine with it. I'm not like saying, oh my God, my house is a mess. It's not. It's just not something that's like a priority at the moment. Although I will say, now that my husband is back working like long distance and it's just me again, I have found, I do know this about myself, that I do tend to stress clean, or when things feel a little bit out of control, I tend to be more like wanting to keep things clean. So I feel like maybe now is probably when I might start wanting to prioritize cleaning and keeping things clean and orderly and tidy, just because of like the situation that I'm in. I think that might just help my mood a little bit because there are definitely points in the month, which specifically the week leading up to my period, which sounds like TMI, but I don't care. Um, it's like a nesting effect where that's usually when the messes bother me. So if messes are going to start bothering me, that's typically when it's going to happen. And that's when I have like my most burst of energy to clean things. So that's typically when I save like deep cleaning type tasks for, but otherwise I just, light every day, whatever. I'm going to get a couple stickers because I think that's going to help with some of this because it's small, the spaces for it. And I really think I probably can get away with just using a sticker and then probably putting a time, and I'll know exactly what it is I'm talking about. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the laptops. I guess I can, I'm gonna get these PK ones too, because there's not going to be any new releases, but I do want to mark Warehouse Wednesday because I usually like to check out what that sale is about. Oh, let me do the trash can one. I might come back to grab that one, but I don't know yet. Okay, let's see. So let's work on this schedule. There is what color am I going to use? I think I'm just going to use those plain colors on the bottom. I have them, yeah. I'm just going to use the one that doesn't have any color. So soccer ball. Gotta put, ooh, did y'all hear that? Oh my gosh, squeak. I can't stand that sound. Please tell me I'm not the only one. Like, that fork scratching sound on a plate? Oh! I'm gonna put a trash can on Tuesday. The trash day is on Wednesday, but I take it out on Tuesday afternoon because I will forget in the morning. And our trash company does not seem to want to make up their mind about when they want to show up for trash. So sometimes they come early, sometimes they don't. There's something, what can I use to mark that? I wish I had like a little backpack because it's something at the school for my kids. Ooh, are these like, hang on a second. I'm getting squirrel over here. I feel like I had bought these when I was using my hemlock and oak, and that's like an A5. I wonder if these are the same. These would fit right there, but that's from Orange Umbrella Co. And this is like 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did them 5, and that sheet, that'll work, but then you don't really have room for the number. I don't know how I'd have to get creative there. But that's cool that fits there. That would have been so cool if I had like a little backpack. I think my daughter has one. Oh, I know. Whoops. Hold on, stuff falling out. There we go. See, I like consistency. This is, with my planning, I like consistency. I like uniformity. That's just my brain. I found a backpack. It's next to one that says no school, but I can cut that off. I'm going to use that because that would be cute. It has a little pink heart in it, but that's fine. Where's my fancy tool? Here it is. Fancy scissors. There's like a piece of, there we go. There's like a piece of a sticker stuck on it. I'll put that right there. That way at a glance I can look at that and I can really see like what my schedule is without even like having had to write anything in there. It's like the cool thing about having the icons. wow. This I made size so that it fits like a sticky note, like a regular size Post-it note. Let me show you. See, so it would. I want to. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this here. Kind of ties in that little bit of pink that's over there. My to-do list. Some of these things are probably gonna get moved over, but it's too early. Do I want to draw circles again? Maybe. I know I'm just gonna use a dot marker. And let me use do I have a pink one? I do. These were in the like smoky set. Let me test this out somewhere else. That kind of wasn't really that straight, but that's fine. And then with my to-do section and then the content, I'm gonna use this. So let me think for a minute about next week, what all I need to write. My mom already said that she would do this next week. My grandmother passed away last month, and I was using, let me write this down on. I got her a grand pad. I'll pop like a link in the description for it because I highly recommend it. It's like a tablet for older generations. I'm not going to say old people because that sounds really rude, but my grandmother didn't have a smartphone or any other kind of smart device. She just had, a landline. And when COVID happened, we knew we weren't going to probably see her as often, which I don't ever really see her that much anyway. But I decided to buy her a tablet, and that was going to allow us the ability to do like video calls with her, or to send her, more importantly, to send her videos and to send her pictures so that she can kind of have almost like a social media type feed from me and my sisters and my mom. And so all of us, we would have the app on our phone, the GrandPad Companion app on our phone, and then we would upload a picture or anything we wanted to share with her, and then it would send it. And it works sort of like a cell phone service. So I would pay every month. At the time it was 66, but I think the price has definitely gone up. It's like 80 something now per month, and totally worth it. Highly recommend. So we have to ship that back so that they can stop charging me for it, and that my mom said she would take care of that next week. School's almost out. So I think next week with content, I want to film, like batch film a couple of things. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna batch film, but I'm gonna I'm gonna write film like at least 3 videos, maybe 4. I'm gonna write 4 videos. See if I can do that. I don't think that's gonna be too big of a stretch for me, but I want to film a couple things so that I have some things already. I've had some ideas, but like I just haven't done it lately. So I had definitely have enough ideas that I could next week film that many. Not gonna post that many videos, but I need to get it filmed while it's quiet in here. I should also, maybe I'm gonna write content plans so I can kind of figure out what I want to do, like when to post it. I still have on here that I need to, I don't know, I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's see. So this week I washed them on Tuesday. So I'm gonna write Tuesday, wash bed sheets again. And then I did wash the towels Thursday, so I'm gonna write towels over here. And that'll be like 1 week from the last time it was done. So that'll help me like that. And then, wait, I forgot to put another soccer ball over here. I'm trying to think how I want to do this because this is technically something I have to attend. So I think I'm going to put it right here, and then I'm going to highlight right here, and then off camera I'm going to put the time. This is something I need to attend on the computer. That's why it's a computer. And I will highlight, and I have some, let's see, transparent sticker times. Let's see if I have it for that time. These are from Orange Umbrella Co. These are transparent time stickers. I think I ran out of the 12s. I can use the 11:45 instead. That's fine. Because usually I try and log in a couple minutes before those Zoom calls. So I'm going to put that right there. And see, that's how I'm going to do it over there, but it'll be with a different time. And this one too, I'm going to move because it's someplace that I need to be. I feel like this is how my brain will help like distinguish just information versus like an actual thing that I need to. Obviously, this is something I need to do, but that's not a timed thing. All right, I think that looks good for now. I don't have anything else planned at the moment, although this could fill up because I have appointment things I needed to make, and I don't know if anything's going to be for next week, but we'll see. I might get a haircut next week. I just realized my birthday's next week. Yeah, I had wanted to get a haircut before my birthday, so I might get my haircut next week. That'll be fun. I'll make sure to share pictures on Instagram in a story or like an actual post, but I think I'm going to leave it like this for right now. I know it looks like really blank, but this is what it ended up looking like last week because I really just haven't yet sit down with I haven't done my actions, my weekly actions yet for the week or like finished any of this stuff. So obviously any stuff like that doesn't happen this week, I can move it over to the next week. And then once I have like a clear plan on what's going to happen with my content, I might have some more things to write down here. But this actually, I wanted to use it not just for me to like write down what I want to do, but also to kind of mark off what I've done. I've kind of gone away lately from in the last couple weeks. I haven't wrote down what I've been doing with my content. I was writing it down in the beginning of the year. I had it in like an academic planner, and then I moved that over into like my Moxie Life and the notes section in the back of the companion notebooks. And then I just stopped doing it. And it's not really like necessary for me to keep track of all the things that I've been doing, but it is kind of nice to like look back on sometimes. But anyway, I'm kind of like not forcing myself to do it if I don't feel like I need it at the moment. But now that like I'm an affiliate for Planner Kate, I do need to like make sure that I am like sharing things. So let me write Warehouse Wednesday for that way if there's something like I'm not going to necessarily promote like every single thing, but if they're having a warehouse sale and it's things in it that I know that I've purchased before, that then I definitely would want to share it so that I can let people know, hey, it's on sale, because that aligns better with me. And of course, I mean, if you don't know, I will make sure to leave a link in the description. But if you do shop and decide to, if you use my affiliate link, I would appreciate it. And then if you use the code Lauren at checkout, you can get 20% off your entire order. And yes, that coupon stacks with whatever sales are going on. So Warehouse Wednesday sales typically are like 50% off. So if you shop that sale, it's 50% off, and then you use my code Lauren on top of it, that's an extra 20% off on top. So I think that's a really good deal. And I'm all about sharing those good deals, because money is money. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure you hit that like, thumbs up button. And if you want to leave me a comment, you can also, send me a DM over on Instagram. Over there, I'm at creating.selfcare.plans. And I always love chatting with you guys in the DMs. I love hearing what you love about my videos or my posts and things like that. So don't be afraid to like let me know your thoughts. It's awesome to hear from you guys. And also, like, since my last video that I filmed, I hit 500 subscribers. So thank you so much if you are subscribed and you've been subscribed and you've been watching my stuff and you've been liking my things. I appreciate it more than you know. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.